Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday, December 16th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the program again. Here we are on a cloudy Thursday morning, but it's going to be a tremendous day, and we're glad to have you with us. On the air for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon, the dealer that'll trade for anything it don't eat. Our two regulars are here this morning. Every Thursday, it's always nice to see Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Ronnie?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Now, you are a member of the Election Commission Board, or whatever you call the five people. Y'all had sort of a dedication open house, new facility open to the public yesterday. Just for 30 seconds, tell us how that went.
That went real well. The new facility was a great thing. Election Commission been needing that for many, many years, and now you can walk into a building. We have a parking lot. You walk in, you don't have to go up any steps, don't have to go up any ramps. And so it was a dedication yesterday, ribbon cutting, chamber came down, and it was probably 7,500 people there. It was a great job. Everything went well.
And you were there.
Yes.
You weren't selling cars for 30 minutes.
I wasn't selling cars, but I did have a Bates Ford shirt on. So.
You totally right.
Yeah, free advertisement.
Well, you're wearing a Bates Ford shirt this morning.
I am.
And the Bronco that you drove out.
Yeah, they're nice. They're real nice. Just I wish we could get more of them, but we do have where you can come drive them. We've got a 2-door and we've got a 4-door, and they're available to test drive. And one of them's a soft top, one of them's a hard top. So we've got all the options that one's got the big motor, one's got the small motor. So, one of the things Ford's process is right now is you can come drive them, and then if you decide you want one, you can sit down with one of our sales force and they'll build it and, let you look at it and all that, and then we'll put in the order.
Okay. Well, do you like that good as he does?
Yes.
Or you still favor the F-150?
I like the F-150 because that's the bread and butter, but I also like the Broncos. Matter of fact, the Broncos that he's driving now, one guy came in the other day, and I think it'll be for sale in February, January.
It's January 31st is the very last day that's in the program. Then it'll be February 1st before sale.
And see, we got a guy that wants it. Well, several guys that want it. So,
Somebody's already got their name first on the list.
Well, they got their name on the list, but they hadn't put any money down.
Oh.
But we got to take the person that bring the money. That's where we got to go.
Well, it's December. It's Christmas time. I don't know what that does to some say December's a pretty good automotive month. How about you? Well,
December is a great month. It's always been a great month for me and the car business because I've been there longevity. The dealership has already done well, and we're having a great month. This month starting out. December has always been the older people in the car business always told me it could be the best month of the year or the worst month of the year. And a lot of times it's been real good for us. And this month is great for December. And for the inventory that we have, if we had new cars, it'd be a lot better, but it's doing well.
And you're still looking for anybody that's got one that wants to sell or trade or especially bring one in to sell.
We've had several this week, and I want to say one thing. It's December the 16th, which is a special day for me. It's my mother's birthday, so got to say happy birthday to Mom. She listens to us most all mornings and stuff.
Well, good.
So it is very special. But no, if anybody's got anything that they want to sell, turn into cash, we've had several customers come by and bring vehicles for us to purchase. There's several that we've bought. There's a few we can't. It just depends on, what the vehicle's worth, and we'll take and run around the block. And like I said, Tony's bread and butter. If you got anything, tractors, lawnmowers, trailers, RVs, but hey, we'll do anything. We've had a couple customers bring us. Ronnie had a customer had an RV and a truck that was wanting to, get rid of. He's gotten where he wasn't using it, and if something's sitting in the driveway, whether if you're not using it, bring it down. We'll certainly give you a cash offer.
Well, that's the thing, I guess, that is attractive to people. I mean, if they weren't as valuable as they are, then okay, let it sit. But I mean, the money you even said somebody got about as much out of one as they had paid for it.
I had a guy bring an F-150 that he had for over a year, and we actually gave him what he paid back for the truck. So, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. Drive around for a year and get your money back.
Boy, it sure is. Well, we always mention the oil change. You still got that special for $24.95?
We do right now. our service department stays packed, busy. So, if you come in, please understand that we don't just slap oil in them. We're not a quick lube oil place where we just throw oil in and put you on the road. We want to do, and I try to hold my people to a higher standard where they do a quality inspection, look your vehicle over, make sure that if you need anything, where it's brakes, tires, battery, hoses, anything like that, that we address that. So we are looking to get our new facility. I sat down with Ford on Monday and the architect, and we're going to triple our oil change area. So our new facility will be able to, have a lot more space where we're kind of space limited at our 1673 space. That's one of the problems we've got is we're just so busy that we don't have the space to be able to get customers in and out in a timely fashion. So that's why Mr. Bates and myself chose to build a new facility.
Well, that's coming along. And if you look at the calendar, you know that next Thursday is Christmas Eve. The next Thursday is New Year's Eve. We're not going to be here.
Right.
So it'll be 3 weeks, I guess, before we see you
Yes, sir.
again. So
Right.
just to let you know here, right on. And Ronnie's frowning. You must love to come out here.
Yeah, I love to come out here, man.
He wants to come spend the holidays with you.
Well, you have the last word this morning.
Yeah, and we got a lot of people that drive company cars, and they have their vehicle that's sitting in the driveway. So if you just sitting in the driveway, you're not using that vehicle, bring it down to Bates Ford.
Another good idea. All right, Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer to trade for anything it don't eat. Paul Tubbs, Ronnie Kelly, thank you much. Y'all
Thank
have
you.
a good one. We'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're about 10 minutes after the hour, and Lieutenant P.J. Hardy is joining us this morning. And good morning, first of all.
Good morning, Coleman.
You are here on the third Thursday, swapping with Jeff Baines and his people last week.
Per his request, yes, sir.
And so everything went fine, and I'm sure it's going to go fine today. And it's been, I guess, 5 weeks since we've seen you, something like that.
Something like that.
Everything going all right?
Everything's great. Everything's great. We're just preparing for the holidays and, trying to keep everybody safe, keep our roadways safe and enjoyable.
Do you, it used to be we'd hear from time to time about, especially maybe your bigger stores where you've got a lot of cars and heavy shopping and quite a bit of thefts and people taking things out of cars. I don't know, but I don't hear much of that. Is that going on?
There's not a whole lot of that going on. I mean, part and parcel with the fact that we have extra manpower out there between our CERT volunteers driving around the vehicles, being visible, also our patrol units, and we also do have some undercover plainclothes units that are driving around just making sure that everybody's safe in those areas. Our outlet mall isn't maybe quite as busy as it used to be, but there's still they still have some business over there. So,
well, of course, excuse me, we're always telling people lock your cars and don't leave especially expensive things out where they can be seen. Hide them. Put them in the trunk, put them under something, which is just good common sense. But Porch Pirates are another thing, too.
They are.
What didn't used to, even, if you just said Porch Pirates 10 or 15 years ago, you probably wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely, yes. Unfortunately, there are those unscrupulous people that will steal packages off of your porch, your front stoop or whatnot. Everyone's buying online and getting their deliveries, and it is one of those things that we need to look out for. One of the best things that you can do for yourself is, they have these video doorbells. I don't promote one versus the other. There's plenty of them out there, but at least it'll give you the opportunity to capture video of anybody that may come onto your property and take those packages. It'll help us hopefully try to identify who they are, at least time of day, that sort of thing. So it helps in the investigative process.
Well, I sort of opened up the conversation here, but anything in particular you came out here to tell us today?
Well, there's several just little tidbits. We've got we've got both of the Christmas light shows going on, one just down the street from us here, the Dancing Lights of Christmas. That goes on, I think it's either 5 or 6 p.m. Both of them start at either 5 or 6 p.m. and go until 10 or 11, depending on the day of the week it is. But I just want to remind everybody that those are great events, great opportunities to go out and look at the Christmas lights, but have to have a little bit of patience, depending on what day, what night you go and what time. it can be a little bit busy, so just be patient. And as Christmas comes closer, the other one is Chad's over off of 109 towards the Gladeville area. That's been there forever. But they recently had pretty much finished up that section of 109, so at least the construction traffic isn't too terrible. But either one of those places, it's a great opportunity to take the kids out to see the lights, but just have a little bit of patience with the traffic coming in and out. And if you're traveling in that area or you live in that area, just be aware and try to avoid during those really busy times.
Okay, it is time for us to take a break, and we'll do that and talk more with Lieutenant B.J. Hardy in a moment here on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $49.95 up to 5-course oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center.
Good morning. The police managed to move this wreck over to the right-hand side as we check it out live here on 40 eastbound at Charlotte Pike. There's still a lot of traffic coming in right now in this area, coming in from Bellevue, also Kingston Springs. It's starting to slow down sometimes. 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. They were moving a stalled car a few minutes ago up against the wall in a terrible spot, 24 westbound. It appeared to be right near Harding, or OHB rather, as you come up through the Antioch area. Donut Distillery presents Boozin' with Buddy. Stop by their Christmas pop-up bar, fresh donuts, and so much more. Log on to donutdistillery.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's Pittsburgh week. The Titans travel to Heinz Field this Sunday. Titans Countdown presented by Farm Bureau Health Plan starts at 11. Then the Titans and the Steelers do battle where the three rivers converge. Mike Keith and Dave McGinnis have the call that starts at noon. These games are physical. Hear it all here.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Ball Plumbing, the Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas and Tennessee 811. Call before you dig.
This is Titans Radio, 98.9 WANT.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and our vehicle purchase program has been a huge success. If you got something you want to sell, bring it to Bates Ford for a cash offer. Even if you owe money, we'll pay it off and give you the difference. And on the service side, we got some great deals. We got the Works program, which includes an oil change and a tire rotation, the cheapest oil change in town, the cheapest battery in town for $134 installed on most vehicles. That's Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. It is a Thursday morning, and today Lieutenant P.J. Hardy's here. He's the information officer for the Lebanon Police Department, among other things. You do have quite a bit on your plate.
I've got a few hats, yes, I sure
do. You're very good when you have a party and you need an MC or this sort of thing, the night out that you have every year, other things that you do when you have the Citizens Academy or whatever you call it. So I'm going to paint a good picture for you here, but you're a pretty vital cog in the scheme of things at the police department.
Well, there are a lot of responsibilities, and I enjoy them all. So, it is what it is. I do want to mention real quick, our thoughts are definitely still with those folks in Kentucky, especially Mayfield. We posted the other day, their police department got hit really bad. And so everything from cars to none of the officers have, from what we understand, has lost their homes. But there was a lot of damage sustained. The police department itself, and like I said, their vehicles. We had 3 vehicles that, so when our vehicles get to a certain mileage point, we what we call deadline them. Mm-hmm. But basically what that is they're still serviceable, and we put them in our pool for backup vehicles. But we took those 3 and we sent them up to Mayfield. so that they can have some extra vehicles that that are operable and they can continue to do their job.
Well,
So,
I've just got to say how nice, how thoughtful, how grateful they probably are to get them.
yeah, and all those accolades are wonderful, but honestly, we couldn't imagine. We almost had to imagine when we had our tornado. Fortunately, our department wasn't in the direct path. We had very minor damage when it comes to the building and when it comes to vehicles, but we couldn't imagine trying to do our job and not have the tools, especially a vehicle. That's your office. That's everything operates and happens out of there. So hopefully these 3 vehicles will help serve them well. Also, our local company here that does our signage and that on the cars, they're going to redo those for them as well. They've offered that up. So it's just a little thing that we can do. Again, it's vehicles that would go in our pool for backup vehicles, and we'll manage until.
Are you very familiar with Mayfield, Kentucky?
I am not.
I had heard of it. I didn't even know where it was. I assumed it was to the west of Bowling Green. Actually, I think it may be west of Paducah, but anyway, it's way over to the western part of Kentucky. But I think I heard the population is around 10,000. Does that sound right?
It's not a very big city, but it was devastated nonetheless.
Well, I was just thinking three police cars. I don't know how many they would have, but that ought to really
it should help.
Good. Yeah,
it should help,
a lot.
And that's what we're hoping. We're also doing a collection with all the personnel in the department, just the basic things, toiletries and towels and cleanup materials and that sort of thing. We'll be sending that also here within the next few days. So again, we especially feel it because we've been through it, so we kind of understand and know somewhat of what they're dealing with. Now, as far as the devastation, they definitely took a bigger hit than we did, but we understand.
If that should happen here, God forbid, but if that happened here, and we got wiped out like that, what would we do? I mean, we're about 4 times larger than Mayfield, roughly.
Yeah. Well, fortunately with tornadoes, their paths are fairly narrow. They could be very destructive, but I would imagine our neighboring agencies would definitely pitch in with what they can as far as vehicles and stuff, and we can utilize other vehicles, other types of vehicles that we may have. If the street department didn't happen to get hit, we can, I'm sure, utilize some of their vehicles. So, you just got to get it done. If I got to ride around in my '07 Suburban, with a lollipop light on top, I guess that's what we'll have to do. But you do what you got to do.
Improvise.
That's right. Improvise and overcome.
Well, but it's such a. I mean, what the pictures I've seen, I guess in the newspaper and television, it's like a war zone. It's like, I mean, Hiroshima and Nagasaki didn't look a whole lot worse than some pictures I saw of Mayfield, Kentucky.
Yeah, and very fortunate that although some lives were lost in that factory, there's still over 100 folks that were managed to get out safely, minor injuries and whatnot. But I think their overall toll is in the 70-something lives lost. That's just absolutely incredible. And yeah, it definitely impacts, especially when it's a smaller community like that. 10,000 here, so we're at roughly 40,000. A community a quarter our size gets wiped out really quick, in that type of an event. So, yeah, it's just amazing. We've somehow become the new tornado alley or whatever they used to call that in the Midwest.
Well, I have an idea. There's a lot of conversations that go on with at the police department about this sort of thing, and you can't help but imagine a little bit. What if it was us?
What if it was us? And that's exactly what Chief Mike Justice had in his mind. He said, we skirted a much worse situation, but we kind of went through it. And we can't imagine what it would be like not having, at least a vehicle to go out and check on the community and make sure everyone is safe. He said, so yeah, it could just as well be us. And this is just a little thing that we can do that hopefully will have a good impact.
And some of these people whose homes were totally destroyed, and you wonder what they're going to do. I mean, of course, you have the places that they can be taken care of for a fairly short period of time, but they got to do something. And
It's amazing. If you've never seen the aftermath of a tornado, I remember years ago up in Gallatin when they had tornadoes, and as a department we sent officers up there to help that community. And I remember I was fairly still new in the department, and so I just had a position with my vehicle just watching this neighborhood. And I remember looking to this house. The entire back end of the house was off. It looked like a dollhouse. You know how it's a dollhouse? You can see all the rooms and stuff. But what was amazing is even though this whole back end of the house was off, you could see the little girl's room upstairs. And you could tell it was a little girl's room because all her little pretty dresses were hanging up just perfect in order in the closet. So it was like nothing ever happened, although half of the house was gone. It's just amazing the destruction. I saw bathtubs in trees and just all sorts of stuff. It's it's a very scary time. And for those who lost everything, I just can't imagine having to restart. I mean, you think about, we were talking the other day, my wife and I, we have so much stuff. You know, we've become this society of collectors, and we just collect junk. And I couldn't imagine having to start all over again. But if I did, it would be the essentials, that's for sure.
well, I was thinking the other day, you got a relatively, well, about a fourth the size of Lebanon here, and we've got 4 or 5 funeral homes. I don't know how many they would have there, but even the funeral homes, undertakers,
Absolutely.
with 70 or more people, and most of them right there probably.
And also, you know, lots of paramedics and EMTs from the Tennessee area went up there to help because they didn't have enough people to help with the injuries and to carry folks out and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just devastating, you know, when you think about the mass activity that took place. And so hopefully they can get some relief and try to rebuild.
Well, we've spent quite a bit of time talking about this, but hopefully it's worthwhile. We've got about 3 minutes to talk.
Well,
about
you know, they were
something
talking
maybe a
about
little more positive or pleasant.
Well, birthday shout outs. If we're going to do birthday shout outs, I got to say happy birthday to both of my girls. Amazingly, both of my daughters were born in December. One just had a birthday on Monday. We were able to go to Kansas to visit her for her 21st birthday. And then my oldest's birthday is tomorrow. So I wish them both a happy birthday. Outside of that, we're just chugging along at the police department and getting things to come back to somewhat normal. I know I said that before, and we had to take another break, but hopefully we'll be able to get our Citizens Academies and all those great programs that gets people connected with our department, connected with our officers back in line. So.
Well, speaking of birthdays, I have my middle son was born in December.
There you go.
And his is, I think he was born in 74, so I think that'd make him 47. I believe that's right.
Tad younger than me.
Brian, and I don't know whether he ever listens or not. He's pretty busy.
He's a busy guy.
Oh, what do y'all do? Do you? I mean, somebody's got to be on duty. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, when a lot of other people are off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just when it falls on your day, that's you work that day. There are, you know, obviously from time to time a few exceptions that people can put in to have a day off, but no, we still have to have a crew. So a lot of times we try to do some extra little special things for those folks that have to work, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatnot. And I know our community is just fantastic. They'll bring in meals and snacks and that sort of thing. So everybody kind of pulls around. I remember back in the patrol days, you know, it's just how your calendar, how it fell on the calendar, because every year it'll change on our 12-hour shifts. So.
Well, I said want to be pleasant, but I mean one of the worst things I guess happen if you have a homicide or somebody shoots somebody, and that does unfortunately happen at this time of year too. That kind of can ruin everything, but.
I've been called out of many special occasions for things that happen. So yeah, it is what it is, and you know we hope for the best, but when those situations arise, we've just got to do our job, and it's all hands on deck.
Well, hopefully everybody can be safe and drive safely.
Yes.
And watch out for the other guy. Drive defensively.
That's right. Lock your doors.
Oh, yeah.
Take it, lock it, hide it. That was very good, by the way, Coleman. That whole presentation on that was very good. That was our take it, hide it, lock it presentation. I appreciate you doing that for us.
Well, thank you for being with us this morning.
Absolutely.
And we'll hopefully see you in January.
See you in January.
At
You
the
guys
appointed time.
You guys have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, bye-bye.
Lieutenant P.J. Hardy from the Lebanon Police Department, and that is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Heavy traffic developing now on I-40 coming through Kingston Springs right now. All the traffic coming in from Dixon County, Hickman County. They've got something going on there on OHB in Madison right at I-65 that's got it completely shut down. The police department's gathered up on the scene there. Again, it's Old Hickory Boulevard in Madison, right there just off the interstate. Donut Distillery presents Boozin' with Buddy. Stop by their Christmas pop-up bar, fresh donuts, and so much more. Log on today, donutdistillery.com. I'm Commander Chuck, you're on time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Discover the power of an independent insurance agent at THW Insurance Services. Because THW is 100% independent, you can rest assured that they are on your side, which means they'll do whatever it takes to find you the right coverage at the right price from the industry's leading insurers. Don't just get insurance, get a friend at THW Insurance Services, 321 West Main in Lebanon, or call 443-3849. That's 443-3849.
Widespread rain showers are in the forecast today, so keep the umbrella handy. Highs today will climb into the upper 60s. On Friday, rain showers continue with temperatures reaching the upper 60s. Unfortunately, scattered showers continue into the weekend. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
We continue here on a Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us, Coleman and Company. And it's time for us to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon, located at 1409 Medical Center Drive. Heather, if you have forgotten us this morning, it's not too late to call in, but if you don't, we're going to talk about you a little bit here. Heather Sadler Gallagher is the marketing director and the administrator at the Pavilion. And, of course, they are full. They offer assisted living. They offer memory care, which we'll talk about a little bit here. But she has a waiting list, and that's a good thing for her, and not so good if you're needing help right now. But Heather is the kind of person that you can call, and she will help you, even if it's some other community. She says don't say facility, they're communities, but if it's another community that maybe you need, she can give you some information, some valuable information. If you give her a call, 615-444-5556. And of course, the Pavilion's located at 1409 Medical Center Drive. You go like you were going to the emergency room at Vanderbilt, Wilson County Hospital, but instead of turning a left there, take one more street, take a left. That's Medical Center Drive, and you'll find the Pavilion down there on the right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the care that they offer. Assisted living. It's licensed by the state of Tennessee. It's staffed 24 hours a day by certified staff. You can rest assured that the residents receive the best care and support by trained staff who truly care about the residents' well-being. And they do strive for the residents to maintain the highest level of independence while supporting and assisting with the activities of daily living. The memory care, well, that's a little bit different, of course. The Pavilion Senior Living offers memory care for residents who are facing Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. The program is designed to be resident-focused by creating an individual plan that includes a person's life, skills, interest, and routine into a personalized plan. Now, the program there has been designed to encompass every detail, including the design of the community, specialized training for their team, programming for activities, culinary selections, and coordination with the clinical services. They want the residents to feel comfortable in their new home. And if you've ever experienced dementia, Alzheimer's with somebody, you know it can be a challenging time, and that's one of the things that the Pavilion can help you with. You can go to their website, www.thepavilionseniorliving.com, for a lot more information. And questions or comments, call Heather, 615-444-5556. The Pavilion Senior Living. Okay, we're about 25 before the hour, and I have invited our friends from Compassionate Hands to be with us today, and that is John Grant, who is the Minister and Executive Director. We also have Sheila Weathers this morning, Director of Ministry Development. And let me say good morning to both of you.
Well, good morning, Coleman.
Good morning.
Sheila, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How you been?
I've been good.
Been busy?
Been very busy.
I'll
very
bet.
busy. It's shelter season.
Yeah, we were hit with some cold weather there, and now it's gone away, and it's almost like early fall or middle spring or something out there this morning.
It feels good, yes.
We sort of get spoiled here, and when it gets down to 25 degrees, it's like we're in Alaska somewhere. It seems to me that it used to be colder than it is anymore, but it still can get cold, and when it does, is when you really come into action.
Yes, we officially opened December 1st, but we had a cold snap that last week of November and went on and opened 2 nights because it was in the low 20s. And, you know, our ministry began with the idea that nobody is going to freeze to death in Wilson County. And so we opened early, just for 2 nights. We weren't quite ready, but we went on and made it happen. We've got so many churches who love to serve and love our community and want to make sure people are safe. So, yeah, when it's cold, we're open.
So far, so good. It's going on well so far.
Yes, 2 weeks in, shelters have been going. We're having around 13 men and around 3 ladies who are staying as guests each night. And Sheila has lined up volunteers from churches to cook dinners every night. We have volunteers from other churches who come in and spend the night. One group with the men, another church at another site with the women. Churches bring in breakfast, wash the linens. We have 25 volunteers every single night.
And it's it's incumbent upon you to see that those 25 are there, if at all possible.
Well, it is at least
a part
6.
of it.
Well, yeah, part of it. At least 10 of them, and that's the ones that make the meal and bring it on at dinner time and serve it.
And then we also have Alan Tack, who's our Director of Ministry Services, and he coordinates the overnight shelter piece. So Sheila's managing the dinners, and Alan's managing the shelter.
It seems like, and this is just my observation here, but it seems like maybe you've come quite a long ways in a short time, and especially since acquiring the property over there on College Street. Am I right?
Yes, it makes my head spin how quickly God has blessed the ministry and how quickly it has grown.
Yeah.
But you are blessed. You do have a number of churches who really have stepped up to the plate.
Yes, 45 churches all across the county. That's fun just to watch all the different denominations working together for the good of the community. It really is. There's really a sweet spirit among the churches in our community.
So we can say that so far things are going maybe extremely well so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. Our bar for success is pretty low. As long as everybody is safe and nothing bad happens, it's a great night.
Yeah.
So, and we'd like to take it to the next level. We're helping people get into housing long term, but our first goal is just everybody's safe.
Yeah, but here again, the two of you can't do it all by yourself. So I'm thinking that part of your success here and part of so far so good has been how many people have come to help with this.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what will y'all be doing Christmas?
Oh, yes, good question.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I have two wonderful groups that have planned the dinner for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and I'm sure they've got some surprises planned for our guests as well.
Do you, this may be coming out of left field here, but I mean, you've got to anticipate how many people are going to be there on a given night. And I'm guessing the colder it is, the more you maybe plan for.
Yes.
But is there any way to really know ahead of time?
No, we're ready every night for 40 men and 15 ladies. And then we pray that we'll never have that many. Last winter, our biggest numbers, I believe, were 33 men and 9 ladies on different nights. But we're ready every night. And yet the cold brings more people in. The other thing that really matters is rain. Because if it's raining and 40 degrees, that can be miserable. Versus clear and 25 could actually feel okay. So rain is a bigger factor than cold.
Well, let's talk about how some of these people maybe get in that situation, losing their housing. Now, I guess there's maybe a few who choose it by design on their part, but others, I can't imagine anybody really wanting to leave their home. Maybe there's a few, but mostly there's some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think anybody when they're a first grader says, someday I want to be homeless. I want to be just destitute and living on the street. So I don't think it's something anybody desires for themselves. And then life happens. There's a mental health crisis. That's very common, that there are untreated mental illnesses. And so because of that mental illness, somebody can't keep a job. They can't keep a roommate. It blows up their family. Maybe there's an addiction. That holds people back. Those two would be the top two causes. But then there's just life. People have a divorce. They lose a job. They go through some other trauma. Yesterday, we had a lady show up she had just gotten out of the Wilson County Jail and had no way to get home. And so we're just down the hill from the jail in our new location. So we were able to get her a ride to Trousdale County where she could be reunited with her family. So she could have been homeless last night. Instead, we were able to get her into housing.
And most of us don't think of that scenario.
Yes.
But you'd think, well, maybe they would have called their relatives or what, but maybe their relatives don't have a car. So I don't know what the circumstance was, but no doubt she appreciates you helping her get home.
Oh yes, for us.
Well, what did you do? I mean, do you have that for yourself, or you call somebody?
Well, we have a lot of generous donors, and in fact, the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee has given us a fund to help people with various needs. They give us, I think, last year they gave us $12,000, and this coming year they're giving us $12,000 just to assist with people in need. And so for her, yesterday it was a taxi ride to Trousdale County. Now, if we have a volunteer, we'd rather do that. But sometimes, on short notice, a ride up to Hartsville, that's a tall order for a volunteer. So we can buy a taxi ride if we need to, or a train ticket to Nashville.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just $5 to hop on the train if somebody has a place to go in Nashville. So,
anything you want to add to that?
Well, we were talking about the homeless situation or how they end up homeless. He touched on mental illness, and I believe that, we've touched on this before, that it goes way back. And a lot of times people alienate their family from the choices they've made.
Right.
And the family's not going to let them come back. They've just burned some bridges. And the only choice they have is to be homeless or come to us. And a lot of our friends tell us we're their family.
Yeah. Well, you're dealing with a lot of different types of problems, the whole gamut, really, and there's probably no two people whose problem is exactly alike. But like you said, and in fact, let me just read this mission statement here. Compassionate Hands TN.org. Our vision is that the Wilson County Community of Faith be Christ's hands and feet to our neighbors in need. Our mission is to provide opportunities to serve, support, advocate, and befriend neighbors in need. So there's needs there, and you're trying to take care of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing our vision and mission, because it's not Sheila and I or the staff trying to care for neighbors in need. We're trying to activate the churches because the churches have so many volunteers who love to serve and often don't quite know where do you start on a big problem like homelessness. So we really want to activate the churches. We're a network of churches.
Okay, let's take our break right here. We're glad to have with us this morning John Grant and Sheila Weathers from Compassionate Hands. We'll talk more after this on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitors' pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. The police department still has it blocked off due to a police situation there on Old Hickory Boulevard, OHB there in Madison, right at the interstate. It's not affecting the interstate at all, but it's heavy trying to get down through there now. 65 as you come past Trinity Lane, all that heavy traffic in from Mount Julian on I-40 through Wilson County. Tons of radar out here. Be careful. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at gatlinburgwinecellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Hi, I'm Mayor Rick Bell.
And I'm Sarah Haston, your Economic Development Director for the City of Lebanon.
And we're asking each of you to shop Lebanon this Christmas season.
Are you ready for the hustle and bustle, Mayor?
Absolutely. 'Tis the season, and I'm ready to get everyone checked off my list by shopping Lebanon and shopping small.
Well, it's definitely important to support our Lebanon business community.
Indeed. Our Lebanon businesses are the backbone of our community, and they support us all year.
That's right. Let's show some local love at Christmas. We are asking everyone to commit to give back by shopping your local retailers here in Lebanon.
Have a Merry Christmas from all of us at the City of Lebanon.
The Dancing Lights of Christmas and Santa's Village is back for their 12th annual celebration of the magical Christmas season. With over 2 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some rockin' Christmas tunes, you'll experience the dazzling sights and sounds of the Dancing Lights of Christmas from inside the comfort of your own vehicle. And for the first time ever, helicopter rides are available where you can see the lights dance from the sky. The Dancing Lights of Christmas and Santa's Village at the Wilson County Fairgrounds, 5 p.m. nightly, including all holidays. More info at thedancinglightsofchristmas.com.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Okay, welcome to our final segment here for a Thursday morning. And if you're just joining us, we're glad to have you. We're also glad to have our friends from Compassionate Hands this morning. And we introduced John Grant, Minister and Executive Director, and Sheila Weathers, Director of Ministry Development. They're both here, and we're talking about what's going on. And as we alluded to earlier, we've had some cold weather. We've had some rather warm weather right now. What would you expect, say, tonight if it's 45 degrees, or what was last night? Did you have many last night?
I didn't see the count. Did you, Sheila?
It might have been more than 13.
Really?
I'm not sure. Men, that
Yes.
is, and I think it was 3 women.
3 women.
Mhm.
Well, I guess if you don't have a home and you can get a meal, it doesn't matter what the temperature is.
Right. Well, and our guests really do become friends and count on us, and they would almost look at us as their winter home. A lot of them get their mail at our center. You know, if you're homeless, where would you get your mail?
Mm-hmm.
So.
You have some hours? I mean, they don't stay all day. They come at supper time.
Yes, yeah, we open at 6
We don't
each
say
evening.
dinner, it's supper time.
Correct, yes. Supper at 6.
Okay.
And so, yeah, everybody comes in at 6. We're served the meal, get set for the evening. They can get a shower. They can wash their clothes. And usually a lot of them, they're out, sound asleep by 8:30 because they're tired. They've been out in the cold all day long. And they, there'll be a lot of conversation. Some will want to stay up late talking, but usually by 9, the place is really quiet and everybody's asleep. But in the mornings, the guests leave by 7. So volunteers serve breakfast 6-ish, and volunteers are out by 7-ish. And then the shelter is pretty much closed through the mornings because we're sanitizing the facility.
Other volunteers.
Yeah, other volunteers come in and sanitize. So our office hours are 1 to 5. That's when we're a little more open for people to come in if they need help with social services, if they need help getting an ID, and but mornings we're closed.
How do most people who want to help and especially volunteer, maybe be there in that way of volunteering? Do they hear about it through their church? Do they go to your website? They come to your office? I guess all of it. But
well, most of the volunteers come through Coleman and Company. I mean, this show. I mean,
they're all listening right now.
This is like the hub of Wilson County right here. So
flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you, but
so we recruit year round in multiple ways. So I'm often out visiting local churches, and if I get a chance, I love to promote the program and take a display booth. Sheila's putting stuff on social media probably 5-6 days a week. And then, we're promoting
that no
it.
doubt helps.
Yes,
I don't know
social
how people
media.
have enough time to have that in front of them, but some do nearly. It seems like it's 24 hours a day. I'm exaggerating, but that does help.
Yeah, social media. We send out frequent emails to anyone we have an email address from, and just word of mouth too. I mean, people just come in droves, and we need some more volunteers, by the way, for overnight hosts. He also mentioned that we, sanitize in the morning. We have volunteers that also come to our building now and do the linens. So if you think you've got 13 guys, you've got 13 fitted sheets, 13 top sheets, and 13 blankets. And those have to be washed daily. So we have those volunteers. But it really is, I mean, we are just blessed with our 45 churches and the way they spread the word and have sign-up sheets at their churches. So if you have a church, go to your pastor or your outreach pastor and ask about, hey, do we have a sign-up sheet for Compassionate Hands? So, yeah.
Well, I would imagine maybe, especially those who are the ones that are able to contribute to your cause monetarily. It does take, when you're talking about all the washing even, and that's a lot of water and quite a bit of electricity, I would think.
And laundry detergent.
Yes.
And dryer sheets. and I am the director of ministry development, and you can make that check out to Compassionate Hands, P.O. Box 1156, or you can go on our website, and we have 2 ways to donate on our website.
But overall, it does seem like, again, you, especially getting your building there on South College, North College.
And we have a mortgage, so.
Okay. But you've just made a bigger impact, and maybe more people are hearing about it. More people. It's sometimes when something sort of becomes popular or the thing to do, people flock to it, and I think that's worked a little bit with you here.
Oh, yes. Well, and it's been interesting now that we have a facility, we have a place for resources to gather. So we'll have a couple of days a month, we'll have somebody from the mental health co-op come in just to meet with people. We'll have volunteers from disability consulting. They come in to help people get their disability benefits. We have Alice Strickland is a local counselor. She comes in. We have nurses and doctors who come in. So having a facility makes us more accessible. That we can't have every resource under our roof, but we can have them come. And then a lot of times we'll do referrals out to the various clinics and counselors.
So
and
that
things.
in itself is a big help, just having that location.
Well, yeah, the vision is that we might be a resource hub, not that we own all the resources, but that we know the resources and can share those and send people out.
Well, now you mentioned a grant earlier, and on some notes you gave me here, the CARES Act grant. Is that the same thing you were talking about, or is this something different?
This is something different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the federal government back in 2020, when everybody was so concerned, well, still concerned about COVID, but there were CARES Act grants, and HUD gave the state of Tennessee $33 million. Went to THDA, and so THDA then has different agencies who applied for and received those funds. And Compassionate Hands applied for that and received grants to help people with rental assistance. So if somebody's in danger of eviction, we can help them. Now, they have to show that COVID was part of the reason they're in danger of losing housing. because it's COVID funding.
Right, got it.
But then it's also helping us with emergency shelter costs. Last winter, when we had guests who had a cold, we would put them in a hotel, and that grant paid for the hotel. That grant was all about preventing COVID. And so it's been amazing. We've been able to add staff who they're caseworkers to help people who are at danger of eviction.
Do you still have access to some of that?
Yes,
haven't
yes.
spent it all or got more coming in or something?
Well, the grant money, it's a reimbursement account that's good through next June.
Okay.
So we're still helping people. People can call today and get rental assistance if they had COVID income loss.
Yeah. Here again, it has to be COVID related.
It has to be COVID related, yeah. I wish we could have everyone, but this is a start.
Well, you need money, you need volunteers.
Yes.
And there's a number of different ways to volunteer. Every one size doesn't fit all here, but you're probably pretty good at finding a place for the right place for the particular volunteers.
Well, as a matter of fact, Wilson Bank and Trust is one of our biggest supporters. Not only do they have our mortgage and they have our bank account, but they really reach out to us and support us. So yesterday, I had 5 ladies from the deposit, I forget the department now. They came in and they made the food bags that we give our friends the morning as they're leaving for lunch. Okay. They came in yesterday, and I'm not sure how many they made, but my office is full of boxes with food bags in them. And
so you got enough to last for a few days.
they wanted us in their Oktoberfest, and we did our chili cook-off there. They presented us with a check there. They presented us with a check yesterday from that department that did fundraisers of their own money, and then Wilson Bank and Trust matched it. And so we're always looking for groups, departments, churches, and you just got to call me and or email me.
What the website's a good place to go if you just really want to know overall information.
Very good.
What is that?
That is CompassionateHandsTN.org.
Okay.
We have a wonderful lady that's working on our website now daily, and that's Leslie Williams. And she works on that daily. But they can go there and get a lot of information.
CompassionateHandsTN.org.
Okay. Yes.
Well, one of the things, John, you mentioned before, we know everybody that is, say, homeless. Everybody's not going to find a home, but you've had some who have. You've helped some people get back on their feet, and I guess that would be a goal for everybody. Although it's an unreachable goal for everybody.
Well, what I was going to say is our goal this year was 30 folks to find housing. This is not related to COVID. This was 30 of our friends to find housing, and we have put 44 into housing this year.
Yeah. Well, you work with them, and I think we like to think of this as a hand up more than a handout. You're not going to be able to help everybody the same way, but surely you are doing good, and people appreciate it.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, and we call our center the Center for Hope and Renewal. And a lot of times people, they've given up hope. Life has been so hard. They say, I will always be a failure. And so the first thing we want to do is just give people hope that, hey, people do care about you. Here's a meal. Here's a safe place to sleep. Let's wash your clothes. Then that leads to renewal. And that's so much fun to watch, and the community is great to help.
But here again, we were talking about that even with the policeman earlier. I mean, you have the mental health.
Yes.
And you deal a lot, no doubt, with people who have mental health problems.
Oh, yes. Yeah, probably a good third to half of our guests have mental health problems. And usually the reason they're homeless is those mental health issues are not being treated. Maybe they were on meds, and the meds made them feel bad, so they got off the medication. And so, yeah, mental health is a big challenge.
Well, we got about a couple of minutes. Anything we've left out, anything you want to mention as we close out this morning?
Yeah, what Sheila was mentioning, we just have so many different volunteer opportunities. It's a lot of people, they'll come in with a church group and they'll paint doors. or they'll pull weeds. But then others, they'll come back, they'll help with a dinner. And I see there's kind of a progression. So there are a lot of easy ways that people can just dip their toes in the water, because working around a bunch of strangers with a lot of problems can be scary.
Yeah.
So we have a whole range of volunteer opportunities, from just showing up to help with the dinner all the way to spending the night or driving a bus. So.
Driving a bus?
Yes, we have a bus route every night that goes out, and we pick people up down near I-40, and then a second stop near the Roxy. And yeah, because transportation is a big issue.
I don't think we've ever mentioned that before here.
How did we forget? Yeah.
We're about out of time here. Thanks for being with us today. John Grant, the Minister and Education Director, Sheila Weathers, Director of Ministry Development for Compassionate Hands. And that's it for a Thursday. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.